I think it really changed after halftime. They started the third very well, and then the crowd gets into it. They get going. Donovan Mitchell got going, and he kind of carried. I think them seeing him get going kind of rubbed off on everybody else, and guys started to make shots, make plays.
I know obviously you didn't want it to come with a losing effort, but what did you prove to yourself during this playoff series?
Uh, I didn't prove anything to myself, really. You know, I'm just was grateful to be here with the team, and wanting to give them my best effort every game.
Franz just told us that he hasn't let the team down when it comes to performance today. Did you say anything to him? Like, let's just how are you a teammate coming out in this game?
I mean, sometimes the game doesn't always go your way. We're not here without Franz. Obviously, he holds himself to a high standard, and he expects a lot out of himself as a player. And I've been in that position as well, where you feel like you could have done a lot more in a losing effort, but that doesn't. This doesn't define him. It doesn't define us. He's gonna have a great summer. He's gonna get better, and just knowing him, I know he's gonna use this to motivate him and take it to another level. So, I don't think he, let anybody down. Sometimes that happens. So, he's a, this is our first time in the playoffs, man. And I'm just proud of how he played, how we played, and I know we'll be back.
Paolo, you kind of mentioned it there. The loss doesn't define this team and what you did this season. Like, fresh off of it, how do you put into perspective what you were able to do and how you were able to come together to even get here?
It's special. You know, yeah, it's hard to talk about right now, but just where we started and and where we ended up in such little time. Only it being our second year, as a group. It's hard to put into words right now, but I'm sure I'll find something to say later.
You don't know what to expect in a Game 7 unless you've played a Game 7. You've now played a Game 7. Did that intensity meet what you expected?
For sure, for sure. It was a hell of an environment. Probably the most intense game I've played in my life. Just with the crowd and the possession by possession battles, and the toll it takes on your body, on your mind. Every second of the game is intense.
I know you've had interactions with some other high-level players, but having gone through a 7-game series now with Donovan, did he say anything to you as a veteran to the young player?
Yeah. We had a moment when the clock was running down and he had the ball. He just told me he got a lot of respect for me, and we shared words. And it's funny because he was the first guy that I kind of went at it with before I got in the league. We was in a pickup game together. There's clips on Instagram and stuff, but we went at it in that pickup game, and that was our first time meeting each other and playing against each other. And so it's funny how my first playoff series was against him as well.
Now, when you're stagnates a bit, what causes that? Is that the Cavs? Is that what they're doing? What happened that all those constructed?
I think a lot of things come into factor. I think it's the Cavs sometimes, but in the second half they really turned the intensity up on defense, and then I think it's also the crowd plays a part. It's hard to hear out there, in terms of coach getting the call to us, or us getting the call to each other. It is hard to hear. That was, you hear it. Crowd is a factor, but I will say the crowd was a factor in that sense where the communication was spotty. So I think it just it was a tough one. They had a lot of momentum in that second half, and we tried to weather the storm. And they're a team that got a little experience, and they beat us. So you got to give the credit to them.
This is a team that's battled back throughout the course of the year. Do you feel like even though it doesn't fall in short, do you feel like you showed your character as a group throughout the course of this game?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, throughout the course of this series, I think after those first two games, everyone was looking at us like, oh, I don't know if they're ready and whatever. And for us to just take this to 7 and then, have a great first half, and then have them have to fight for every inch to get back in, and end up beating us, it just shows where we're headed. Shows what we were able to do in just this year by itself. And I think it's really encouraging for everybody, players, coaches, the whole organization. So we're really going to build off this.
Thanks, Pete.